Yeah.
So could you explain it to me through the context of this, we'll call it the central bank, how the system currently works as it relates to transactions, the public ledger, etc.?
So, okay, in the old world, we both had our gold.
Yeah.
And we'd stick it in our safe or bury it in the ground. That gold was your gold. This was my gold. And I might try and fight you for it. That's what pirates did. Okay. And then we invent banks. Mm-hmm. And banks, we put it in there and they give you a note to say, Stephen, you've got one of those coins. Raoul, you got one of those coins.
Okay. So we've both got a note now saying that.
Yeah. And now we trust this bank to give us our coins when we want them because they're our coins. Mm-hmm. Okay, that makes sense. Safe as a bank, as people would say. The issue is in this world of smoke and mirrors, what's known as fractional reserve banking, they have taken those coins and given them to somebody else.
They've given my coins to someone else?
Yeah, they've lent it for money. So now that coin is not in there. But they've been given the money. So usually when you're just, if everybody pulls all the money out, there's not enough money. It's called a bank run. We've seen those recently, but that's a classic thing. So it's not your money because you don't actually own your money. The moment you put it in the bank, what you've become is in fact a debtor to the bank or a creditor to the bank. So you've lent them money and you get some legal redress that if you've got less than 100,000 euros, pounds, whatever the currency is, generally that's protected by the government, that if the bank goes bust, then you get your money back. But anything beyond that, you don't get anything.
But I've got a piece of paper.
Yeah, means shit. You don't own anything. Now, it's so big as a problem that so that was 2012 European crisis, exactly this. People didn't own their money. That person walked off with it, asked the bank for it. The bank didn't have it. Nobody's got any money. Where it's all gone. That's the same Ponzi scheme we talked about when you buy a house and use the cash flow to buy another house, right? If somebody takes away what's known as the collateral, suddenly it's all gone. But the issue was actually bigger because 2008 proved another thing, is that nobody owns anything. So the whole system itself is leveraged. So, for example, back in that time, the average US government bond, which is the safest thing in the world, was leveraged up to 30 times.
What does that mean?
That means 30 people thought that was theirs.
Oh, so I say that this is the bank in front of us, the suitcase, and it had one coin in it. When we put that one coin in, it created 30 more coins and gave out 30 pieces of paper.
Yeah.
So there was actually only one coin in the bank,
yeah,
but they made 30 pieces of paper.
And that's all well and good if the collateral, the thing that it's secured on,
the coin,
maintains value.
Okay.
Or isn't pulled by one person. If you were the lender and you're original lender and you get it out and something happens, then all of these 29 other people are like, I want my coin back. And they're like, it doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist. So we just created the coin.
Correct.
We just gave you a piece of paper, but there was no coin backing it.
Yeah. And the issue is, so that's one issue with the banking. The other issue is pretty much everything we do is created on this. It's called a ledger system. A ledger was invented in the Renaissance in the 1500s, 1400s, where what would happen is you have this on a accounts or balance sheet, you'd have these dual entry ledgers. And what it's basically saying is, I agree with you. And often we'd have a third party agreeing it.
Okay.
Issue is that's known as the Byzantine generals problem. It's actually a philosophical, mathematical problem that has been unsolvable until Bitcoin came along. And what it is we are generals in a war. You are way away from me. We can't communicate with each other, but I need to send somebody to tell you something. There is no way of making sure that that person tells you exactly what I've told them and no way of you approving it. And that's what a three-party system does.